comparing and contrasting Burberry PLC and Ted Baker PLC. We will provide you with an introduction, an internal analysis, an external analysis, and a conclusion. T, Tam, and Kums. We hope you enjoy our presentation.
So we'll start off with a brief overview of both companies. Burberry Group started in 1856 by Thomas Burberry at the age of 21. His aim was to produce innovative functional outerwear. The iconic trench coat was from Burberry, and since the opening, many famous expeditions have been completed in Burberry's clothing, including the first team to reach the South Pole and the first pilot to fly from London to Manchester in 24 hours. Ted Baker started in 1987 with the first store opening in Glasgow in 1988. It started as a menswear shirt specialist with a strong focus on quality that quickly turned into a clothing company for men and women with the added side of perfume collections. Their brand title of No Ordinary Designer is shown with their unique one-stop shops that offer barbers, a shoe shining service, and a virtual concierge. At the beginning, the stores used to offer a laundry service with every shirt purchased, which gave them a strong USP to start off with. We'll start the analysis from the external macro environment.
Okay, so to define the industry that Burberry and Ted Baker are in, they're both in the retail industry. They provide goods for the end consumer, with the consumer purchasing for personal use. The market they're in is the market of luxury goods. This is because they both provide high-end, high-quality goods with a high price that matches this quality. They compete with the likes of Gucci and Louis Vuitton, which are in the same market. And the sector that they fall under is the fashion sector, as they provide fashion goods such as clothes, accessories, and footwear.
Political factors such as change in taxation policies or trade regulations will affect the industry. Firms would have to abide by these regulations or face being penalised, which will not only cost the company money, but also damage the reputable brand. This could therefore affect the company's exports in terms of transporting the goods abroad. Economic external factors include an economic downturn or an increase in the inflation rate. These would affect the companies within the industry, as an economic downturn would mean a decrease in sales and probably a loss of repeat customers. An increase in the inflation rate would mean the general price of goods and services have increased, which in turn means consumers have less disposable income at their hands. These economic factors affect the company directly, although companies have little or no control over these factors, as they are external. Social external factors. These are predominantly demographic factors, which are the general characteristics of a chosen population. These may change over time, as new trends are always on the rise, and constant change of people's lifestyle change also. Furthermore, companies could face bad press from animal rights campaigners and pressure groups due to the use of animal skin and the fur on the products. Technological external factors. These include new technological breakthroughs, which could mean companies may be able to use this newfound technology to improve their services or goods. Other technological factors are the new way in which companies use this technology. For example, certain firms are beginning to give staff iPads to aid the consumer in finding a size, etc. Another example is the various ways in which you can pay has now changed, whereby individuals have the choice to pay using a mobile device. Consumer law, employment law, and competition law are the main legal external factors affecting this industry, as changes within this law have to be strictly followed. The production of counterfeit goods is an external factor that firms within the fashion industry have to deal with, as this causes loss of money upon the company. Also, health and safety laws affect the staff of the firms, as staff need to be able to give out the right instructions to individuals in case of a fire. Environmental factors. This includes such factors as weather and the climate. A company that focuses on outerwear would have to deal with the environmental factors by adjusting to the weather or the particular season. Companies may use the weather as an advantage with this simple example, making them...
To reduce and manage buyer power, the brand controls the market. The brand is created for luxury in the medium to high working class and the wealthy. This spectrum are loyal to the brand. Here, buyers are waiting on new season brands and quality services. I'm going to run you through competitive rivalry. To come out on top of competitive rivalry, there are major competitors in this sector, but how you compete, it's what matters. Market leader and innovator creates low competition for themselves through the new seasoned stuff and through the way they innovate. There are a lot of luxury brand or designer brands label out there, but each produces a distinctive brand product for its target audience. This is a niche sector where their target audience is very loyal to the brand due to the services, the ambience, and the brand that attracts them. To reduce the threat of substitution, this will be based on the preference of the consumer. Customers are loyal to the brand, like I explained earlier on, due to certain aspects of how and where products are being manufactured and created. We could look at this, for example. I want a high-end goods. I would be thinking of where this is being made. For example, if it was made in Europe, the United States, or China. And we know the issues with copy brand and all sort of stuff in this sort of industry. Also, to compete in this industry, you would have to be specific with the sort of product you want to compete on. Burberry, for example, is known for its high-class trench suit. Would you want that? Or its high-quality leather stuff? Or its new invention into the Burberry acoustic? So if you want to look at from the competitor angle here, you want to look at what brand or what specific product you want before you then go ahead on with a market leader or market innovator. To reduce threat of entry with this threat of new entry, to reduce or eliminate threats of new entry, we figured in this sector, it's very hard for any organization or any new organization to enter. Reason being because of the sort of services they provide and the quality and the luxurious goods or products manufactured. It's very low for any company to want to come in to go heads on with this sort of in this sector. Go.
All right, here we have a strategic grouping table that highlights all the different brands within the fashion industry and the different markets. One hand you have Burberry, high price, high recognition, and very exclusive. Ted Baker is a high brand, but not as high as Burberry, as it caters for a mid-range market and has a mid-range price range. On the other, they're high recognition. However, on the low recognition but high price, you have Hermes, William Hunt, and Ravenscroft. Now, they're not well known, but they cater for a high-end market. On the bottom half, you have high brand recognition but lower price range, such as Nike and Adidas, that cater for the masses. And totally on the other side of low brand recognition and low price, you have Blue Ink, Select, H&M, and Primark. Here is the strategy grouping chart, and as I have already outlined, it is clear to see how the different brands fit into their respective markets within the fashion industry, ranging from high brand recognition and quality on the top left, all the way to the low brand recognition and quality on the bottom right.
Here we're going to look at the resource-based view. I'm going to be talking you through the resource and capabilities of both organizations. Burberry has focused on global expansion and innovation. Due to the high demand for the product abroad, Burberry has created new department and governance council to facilitate innovative and creative thinking, according to Harvard Business School 2012. Core strategies to position Burberry as one of the most innovative companies in the world, according to BBC 2012. Another thing they've done is reinvesting back into the organization. They also have a high use of social media to redefine consumers' purchasing behavior. They've done this through their caustic and Burberry stage, online and both physically in store. In the flagship store in the West End, they have created a beautiful stage with Burberry acoustic, beautiful, brilliant atmosphere to give customers the kind of ambience they want. Expanding manufacturing departments in the UK is another thing Burberry has done over the past few years. Due to the high demand of their product, the factory in the northern part of England in Yorkshire has expanded from 2 manufacturing sites to 5. Ted Baker. So far, so good. Ted Baker has expanded both into Europe and Asia by buying efficiency. One of their main strategies is to control distribution through 3 main channels, one of which is through retail, wholesale, and licensing. value-added activities. Burberry in June 2010, according to BBC News, the group launched its first cosmetic line, Burberry Beauty. In 2012, Burberry stopped outsourcing this beauty brand to a beauty producer, to an in-house producer. This is cut cost and is also added to their value. Using British celebrities in its advertising strategy, including models, have also boosted the value-added activities. Another thing they've done is more authentic and exclusive services. New technology and the use of social media, creating an ambient and also an aggressive social media. Ted Baker has used a licensing strategy, product license partnership with Debenhams in the UK and Hartmarks Corporation in the value-added activities. Burberry in 2010 created its first cosmetic line, Burberry Beauty. According to BBC 2012, Burberry stopped outsourcing their beauty brand to create them in-house. The use of British celebrities in advertising, including models, also is another added value activities Burberry is creating. More authentic and exclusive services, new technology and the use of social media, creating brilliant ambience and sort of ambient the customer wants. Expansion into Asia is another thing that's created or added value to the organization. Ted Baker, licensing, product license, partner with Debenhams, partnership with Debenhams in the UK and Hartmarks Corporation in the US. Ted Baker report and account 2012 said Debenhams exclusive children's wear and lingerie and sleeping collection.
Okay, these are the main objectives of both the companies. Ted Baker and Burberry are obviously there to make a profit, to thrive and to dominate their market within the fashion industry. However, as Ted Baker is relatively a new company and Burberry has been established for more than 100 years, their current objectives differ slightly. Ted Baker, being a new company, is concentrating on expanding into new international markets and improving brand recognition. Over the past 5 years, Ted has excelled with new stores opening in Hong Kong and Paris. Ted is also focused on diversifying its range of goods to appeal to more markets. Burberry, on the other hand, is focused on maintaining its status as a high-end fashion brand and dominating its current markets using its reputation and heritage. Burberry is primarily a male brand and is currently focused on strengthening and revamping this area of the consumer market with a growing number of males looking for luxury fashion goods.
Using McKinsey's model, looking at the hard elements, Burberry have a large array of strategies including giving the franchise leverage, intensifying non-apparel as this is a large section of their sales, to accelerate retail LED growth, invest in under-penetrated markets and finally to pursue their operational success. On the other hand, Ted Baker only have 3 strategies, which are like Burberry to expand their collection, but also to control distribution, retail, wholesale, and developing their international markets, which have already been set up. Burberry and Ted Baker are both public limited companies and are structured in a way that supports their future aims through the use of departmental teams. Looking at the soft elements, both companies have skilled staff in all areas, but they differentiate as Burberry is taking advantage of the use of high technology. Ted Baker does not advertise as part of their brand. This works to Burberry's advantage as they can appeal to their customers and have that relation. However, if there is a failure, it can impact the operations and reputation of the organization. Ted Baker needs to build new competencies in advertising, as in the next 10 years it may become essential. Employees are motivated in Ted Baker and Burberry by offering rewards and discounts as well as bonus schemes for hitting targets and offering training to further develop their career. Ted Baker are part of the Green 500 member, reducing their carbon footprint, compliance scheme and encouraging employees to be more environmentally aware. Burberry, on the other hand, have been viewed differently as there are concerns of working hours and conditions in a factory operated by a Korean company were a possible violation of their ethical guidelines. Therefore, they have a more negative impact on their reputation.
This is a SWOT analysis of both companies, starting with Burberry. Strengths: very strong brand reputation and recognition, very diverse product mix catering to more markets, extremely good management providing continued success. Weaknesses: the brand is quite weak in places like China where the brand has failed to take off and Burberry has recorded a reduction in share price by 20%. Slow to establish in new markets. Opportunities to take advantage of developing markets within the fashion industry, such as increase in males buying high-end fashion items. Investment in manufacturing to improve quality and to cater for worldwide demand more efficiently. Threats. Obviously, one of the biggest risks attributed to most companies actually at this time is the economic downturn and the cooling of the global market, impacting growth and profit capabilities. Loss of key management members and the inability to attract key employees or retain them is quite a big threat facing the company. Thanks. The strength of the brand comes from its uniqueness, in the sense that the company does not use conventional media to advertise, and this in itself promotes the brand. Ted also has a very versatile range of clothing with many differentiating price brackets, which allows a wider market to be accessed. Weaknesses. It is not an established brand, unlike the majority of its competitors within the luxury fashion industry, which works solely on reputation. Opportunities. As a relatively new brand, there are many global markets available to the company, and globalization of the brand is a key element to success in a volatile industry. Threats. Currency, interest, credit, and counterparty credit risks, which the company is exposed to, could damage profit if they were to materialize. Furthermore, as with Burberry, the loss of key staff and management could severely impact the future success of the company. Analysis of Ted Baker and Burberry. Starting with Ted Baker. Ted Baker's share price is £10.84, which is lower to Burberry's £13.30, suggesting that Burberry is of a higher value than Ted Baker. Any potential investors may decide to buy shares in Burberry, as the return could be significantly higher than Ted Baker. The return on capital employed has increased from 2009 to 2010. This shows that the return is good on the amounts they have invested in the company. In 2009, the capital employed was reasonable, but having more of a return a year later allows them to use the money in increasing their brand image. However, the significant decline from 2008 to 2009 is the outcome of the recession, and they have not been able to achieve near that figure. The return on capital employed for Burberry was 26.56 in 2012, according to the London Stock Exchange. Revenue. Ted Baker's revenue over the past 4 years has seen an increase of £73 million since 2008. Ted Baker is not making near enough in comparison to Burberry, but that is due to the fact that Burberry is a more established and larger brand. But for example, a £215 million revenue would be a loss if Burberry had this figure. Burberry's revenue in 2008 was £995.4 million. 2012 is £1,857.2 million. Burberry's revenue has increased by a whopping £862 million from 2008 to 2012. This is down to the success of their non-apparel, such as leather goods, wallets, and purses for men and women, which generated a total of $689 million in 2012 alone. They sold more in the Asia Pacific with sales of £652 million, followed by Europe at £553 million, and in America at £434 million. This is according to the Burberry annual report. They are growing strong in Turkey and Russia as part of the strategy in leveraging the franchise. The retail industry is the most lucrative for Burberry and Ted Baker, with wholesale and licensing after, as increasing significantly from 2008 to 2012. This is good, as it shows that the shareholders are receiving a good return and indicates that there is no outstanding shares. It indicates the money is not reinvested and they are making enough to cover costs. Dividend payments data. Earnings per share. For Ted Baker, earnings per share have increased from 2008 to 2012. This shows that the company has been successful. A reason for this is that they have expanded their business by offering more services to the customers and opening more stores. Burberry's earnings per share have almost doubled from 2008 to 2012. They have far more success than Ted Baker in achieving these figures, especially as Burberry has a more recognizable international base. That is the end of our thorough analysis of Burberry and Ted Baker. We hope you enjoyed the presentation and now know a little more about the fashion industry and its diverse markets. Thank you.